Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. Here's the headline. The United States Army has now opened a new warrant officer recruiting role as it's still struggling to fill its ranks. So let's jump into it here. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I appreciate it. All right, so the Army on Wednesday opened up applications for its new talent acquisition technician role for warrant officers as part of its efforts of overhauling recruiting. The service is looking for a total of 225 applicants across 3 section boards to beef up its new job designation, 420 Tango. That's kind of funny. All right, so 420 Tango is the new role after years of missing goals for bringing in new soldiers and struggling to pitch existing non-commissioned officers to be recruiters, according to a memo to the force. The story goes on here. The deadline for the first wave of applicants is February 2nd. So if you know anyone who would be interested in filling that type of a role, February 2nd is the date. The new warrant officer program is meant to install more consistency in the recruiting ranks and be a bridge between recruiting and marketing. Some recruiters have told military.com that by the time recruiters get up to snuff on the bureaucratic process and get more comfortable with pitching service, they move on with their career. The service aims to eventually phase out the involuntary recruiting assignment between the warrant officer program and a new talent acquisition military occupational specialty for non-commissioned officers. So if you remember, not too long ago, they announced that they wanted to establish a new MOS, and that MOS would be called the talent acquisition, I guess just talent acquisition. And that would be the MOS for the NCOs. That first cohort will be mid-career warrant officers, as the Army prefers those with previous recruiting experience or a bachelor's degree in marketing, data analytics, psychology, or human resources. The second pool of applicants the Army is looking for are permanently assigned active duty recruiters between the rank of staff sergeant and master sergeant. Those NCOs must all be graduates of the Advanced Leadership Course, ALC, have at least an associate's degree or 60 hours of semester hours. Applicants for that cohort are due March 4th. The third round will be open to all active duty NCOs between sergeant and master sergeant, regardless of occupational specialty. Both of those NCO cohorts will have a modified warrant officer selection board. The application deadline for the last cohort, is April 1st. Each cohort will attend a 75-person class at Fort Knox, Kentucky. The Army faces a two-pronged issue with recruiting. It faces a years-long recruiting slump as the military branches struggle to pitch service to young Americans and get them into boots. The challenge has a variety of causes that are partly out of the Pentagon's control, including a surging obesity epidemic and poor investment across many jurisdictions and public schools, which has led to applicants who can't meet weight and academic standards to enlist. What a disaster. It is also struggling to pitch recruiting to NCOs already serving. Recruiters often work long hours and irregular schedules. The 8-week recruiting school at Fort Knox can train 2,866 students per year, but only graduated 1,336 last year, leading to a major shortage of recruiters. Wow, that is rough. In November, the Army sent out involuntary orders to hundreds of NCOs to attend recruiting school, spurring across the rank and file just just before the holidays. So I did do a video on that. I was coming back to my mind that it was with super short notice. It was basically like a 2-week notice. Hey, guess what? You're heading off to recruiter school, and you had no clue. Some of those NCOs were given only weeks' notice to attend the course and faced being assigned anywhere in the country for recruiting duty, which was a massive challenge for families on such short notice during the holidays. Huge swaths of NCOs wiggled out of those orders, and for the first recruiting class following those orders, only 132 out of 200 NCOs showed up, according to personnel data provided to military.com. Meanwhile, recruiters and some lawmakers on Capitol Hill are pointing to military health systems, which launched in March 2022 as part of the recruiting problem. That program centralized medical records en masse from participating medical providers. In some cases, recruiters say applicants are being denied enlistments altogether because of an increased scrutiny on medical or mental health issues that are no longer relevant, minor, or are incomplete due to the data collection, unfairly disqualifying them from service or delaying the process. The Army has not finalized a timeline for the new enlisted MOS, which will be designated as a 42 Tango. And remember that the warrant officer one is 420 Tango. It's unclear how that new MOS will be functionally different from the current 79R or Romeo recruiter MOS, but Army Secretary Christine Wormuth told reporters in October the service is aiming to be more aligned with the talent recruiting goals of civilian corporations. Well, look, I'll tell you that when the 2 times that I enlisted into the military, 1 Marine Corps active duty, and then 2 was reserve through the Army National Guard, both times were kind of lackluster. There wasn't a whole lot. It felt very, I don't know, I guess reactive. And it could be because of me, right? So if you have somebody in front of you that's saying, hey, I want to do this, you don't need to sell so hard versus somebody who's like, I might be interested. Tell me a little bit about it. I was thinking about it. I have a family member who did or whatever. So I think that, there's a lot of benefits, obviously, in joining the military. And I think that for whatever reason, we kind of get hamstrung typically on 2. Look, you can get your GI Bill and you can buy a house with the VA loan. Those are great benefits, and that's really all they ever talk about, or at least from what I've been told or what I've seen. I think that having recruiters that have more longevity is a great thing that can create those relationships within the communities. Being involved in a more constant kind of a way is also a good thing. Having short term, being there for a few years and then bouncing on, you don't really get to establish the same type of relationships in a community that you could otherwise. So, hopefully this will help, but like they were saying, when it comes to the obesity issues and then some medical issues, I guess it really, those are some kind of unfortunate events. So with that, we'll go ahead and conclude it. Just wanted to bring you guys up to speed with some additional changes, the introduction of the warrant officer for the recruiting as well. And we'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye on it. I hope you have a great one. Remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.